What's up guys? What I want to do in this video is I want to go over something called the switch statement, and it's a very important statement when it comes to ICSE. Some people generally don't learn this statement, but it is quite important and they might ask you many questions in the ICSE exam. What is the switch statement? It's a multiple branching statement. Now a multiple branching means, let's say you have to check the value of a variable. Let's say you have to check for like if it's equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 up till say 20. So it's not convenient to write if equal to 1, do something else, equal to 2, do something. It's not convenient to give so many ifs, so many else's. So that's where you have the switch. Now a switch works on the basis of the value of a variable. So let me show you the syntax. Let's say you have a variable defined int x equals 4, switch bracket open x, open your braces, and yeah, and here what you do is you write case 1, case 2, case 3, and so on. Now what does this mean? Okay, so well, first let me tell you that switch works on the value of a variable. I know I said that before, but it only works with int and car variables, nothing else. I think there are two more. I think it works on int, car, and byte and short. I'm not sure. I'll look that up and tell you. But the two important data types it works on are int and car. So in this case, x is 4 and x is an int. So what happens in the switch statement is case 1 basically means check whether x equals 1. Case 2 means if it's equal to 2, if it's equal to 3. So basically if x out here was not equal to 4, let's say if it was equal to 2, switch would come in, it would see case 2, and whatever was there in case 2 it would have done that. It wouldn't have even checked the other cases. Okay, now that being said, let me give you a better example of a real world program. Let's say you have int ch. Let's say you got this ch, it's user defined, got it from buffer reader. Now you write switch ch case 1, case 2. Let's say case 1 is print ch, case 2 is print 2, and another thing you can add in switch is a default case, which if it's not equal to 1 or 2, it'll do this, it'll print not 1 or 2. So this is the default case, remember that. Let me just highlight it, default case, and it's optional for you to put in a default case or not. Some people choose to, some people choose not to. It's up to you. I would recommend you put it in because it makes your program a little neater. Okay, so let's say ch is equal to 1. Let's say I input 1 as ch. What will happen? Well, what will happen is switch will go in, it will print the value of ch, which is 1. So switch will go in, it will print 1. Then what will happen? Well, then switch, or rather Java, not switch, I'm sorry, I paraphrase that, Java will print 2, and then it will print this, not 1 or 2. So I know you must be very perplexed right now as to how this is happening or why this is happening, because I had said before that Java will, if it's, it won't even look at the other cases if it's one. Now, why is this happening? Well, the main reason this is happening is that, look, it goes in, now it sees case 1, so it'll enter straight from case 1, it'll do what it has to in case 1, then it'll go to case 2, then it'll do what it has to in case 2, then it'll go to the default case and it'll print what's there in the default case. Now why will it print all of these? Because there's nothing separating case 1 and case 2 and the default case. There is no barrier, it'll just keep going, falling through, falling through, falling through, and this falling through is called the fall through property of a switch statement. It's the property by which the switch statement keeps executing every next case. Now let's say that the value of ch was 2, this was 2, it would come in from case 2, it would have printed 2, and then it would have printed this subsequently. Now this holds true for any value, like if it was 3 it would have gone straight to default because 1 and 2 are not equal to 3. So whatever case it is, it will go perform that case, it will enter straight from there, it will enter from case 2 in this case, and then it will keep going down, it will keep falling through. So how to avoid this? Now to avoid the, well, the case, the fall through property, all you do is you tell switch, hey buddy, after you've done this, just take a break, relax, take a break. So all you do is after each case just write a break if you don't want the next case to be performed, and there's no need to write a break after default, because, well, after, usually you write default right towards the end, as in after you've written all your cases you write your default case, and it's going out anyway, so there's no need to write a break, but it's optional. If you want you can write a break out here also. So the basic function of the break statement, and I hope you guys have understood, it's to stop the execution of a switch or of any loop or iteration. You can use a break statement in a while loop. You can write while something, do something, then break or go out of the loop. You can use it in a for loop. You can use the break statement anywhere you want. And well, that's it for switch. The last thing that I want to discuss is, well, as you see on the screen, continue statement. Now what's the continue statement? Well, I'll explain it quite fast. It's quite simple. You have the break statement. Now suppose you have a switch X, case 4, do something, continue, case 5, do something and break. So basically what continue does is it lets you run, it lets you keep the thing going on. I'll make another video on continue. I know it's a little messed up in this video, don't worry. And remember one last thing, you don't put curly braces after every case. Don't do that, that's wrong, that is wrong. Just leave it be as it is. So that's all for this video. I hope it helped you guys, and I'll get into programming with switch and while in the next few videos. Thanks.